cross then live to Beijing, speak to our correspondent Charles Pellegrin, who joins us from there. Charles, tell us some more then about what the Chinese side, if you like, said happened during this phone call.
Well, it definitely seems like it was a bit of a tough conversation, but a conversation nonetheless, because there hadn't been a phone call between the two heads of states of these countries since March 2020. So that, in some ways, is progress. Joe Biden obviously bringing up the difficult issues with regards to China, meaning repression in Hong Kong, the human rights abuses in Xinjiang, or in general, China's aggressiveness in the Indo-Pacific region, especially with regards to Taiwan. And the Chinese statements about this phone call suggest that Xi Jinping defended China's policies as a matter of sovereignty, saying that these are internal matters of China's. This is basically just China's business. Xi Jinping also calling on the United States to manage the disputes with China and to work towards cooperation, saying that a confrontation between the two countries would be a disaster, both for the bilateral relationship, but for the international community as a whole. So what would this cooperation look like, and in what areas would this cooperation take place? Joe Biden mentioned the fight against climate change, the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but also nuclear proliferation. But there again, this is a question that needs to be asked, is cooperation possible if, as a condition to this cooperation, some Chinese officials are saying that China's sovereignty and China's internal affairs need to be respected?
Yeah, Sean, you picked out those phrases there, manage disputes and cooperation is the only correct choice. But are there actually actions yet to match those words?
Well, so far it seems as though that China is basically waiting on the United States to make those first steps. All the statements have come out of Beijing since Joe Biden's inauguration have been calling Washington to reset the relationship between Beijing and Washington, to go back to what it was before, to reestablish a dialogue. And to a certain extent, this phone call is the two countries reestablishing a dialogue. So we'll have to see how these things are going to evolve, but it doesn't seem like it's starting on great footing, because a U.S. admiral, for instance, has mentioned that he's seen in the South China Sea China ramping up its military activities there, more aircraft, more ships, that kind of thing. And in general, those red line issues for China, those that it considers to be its internal affairs, this is an area in which that China won't be making any concessions. So what's left perhaps is concessions on trade or concessions on the U.S. access to the Chinese market. But there again, even with regards to the economy, China is building its self-sufficiency, is trying to work towards decoupling with the U.S. economy, just as a matter of protecting itself.
Charles, thanks so much. Charles Pellegrin, a correspondent, talking to us there from Beijing.